Rhys, obviously a really strong performance from the team, and you got the third and final goal. A really, really good finish again. It was another one that could have been goal of the season contender if we'd not finished the competition last week.
It was a good kind of team goal again, and I thought the boys played really well on Tuesday. We started well, and just kind of they didn't really come into the game after that. And obviously Grat scores 2 amazing goals, so that was a good performance, and just need to take that into Saturday.
10th goal of the season by my count, which is really good return. You must be pleased with how it's gone so far.
Yeah. Kind of start the second half of the season, I've scored a few goals and got a couple of runs of goals. So happy to get another one, and just hopefully get a couple more.
Still time, obviously. We're hoping that that's going to be 3 games, definitely 1 more to go, and we've put ourselves in such a strong position. What's the mindset within the squad about how we approach Saturday?
I think it's just about not kind of taking the foot off the gas and kind of starting the way we started on Tuesday, and just trying to keep the pressure up and not really kind of let them out, and not let them get a foothold in the game, and like we did that on Tuesday. So just hopefully more of the same, and just going with confidence, but not a sort of arrogance, just sort of believe in ourselves, and I'm sure we'll be alright.
The surface at Stenhousemuir is artificial as well, but different pitch from what we've got out there. I suppose it's a much bigger pitch out there. Do you think you'll feel a significant difference compared to Ochilview?
It should probably suit us a wee bit more, even compared to Ochilview. It's obviously a lot bigger, kind of space to run behind and space to play, and the pitch might be a little bit sort of smoother and stuff. So if anything, it should suit us, which is good. And like I say, if we take the sort of same mentality into this game, I'm sure we'll be alright.
I know that for obvious reasons, and all season really, our chief concern is about looking after ourselves, doing what we can do, and focusing on our own performance. But what do you expect from Stenhousemuir if we were in their position? It's a 2-goal deficit, but they've grabbed perhaps a lifeline to keep the tie alive with that late goal. So what are you expecting from them?
They're going to come into it with nothing to lose, really. I would say, and they've kind of had a successful season, so if they can get anything out of this game, I'm sure they'll be delighted. But like you say, it's kind of more about us and what we do, and I'm sure if we kind of go about the game the right way and kind of be ruthless as well, I'm sure we'll be alright.
That level of performance, it's certainly a marker that we laid down, because I think 3, we could have easily had a number of other goals as well on top of that. We were very, very good on the night. You've got to try and match that performance, not just Saturday, but if we get through to the final in those 2 games as well.
No, 100%. I thought right from the start we were good, and we were keeping the ball a lot, and like you say, there was a lot of chances. I could have had a couple more. Ben, I think, Diak, McGregor, there was a few. So it could have been 6 or 7 on another night, which is good. Just try and be a little bit more ruthless on Saturday, and just go into with confidence.
It seems like you've hit a really good rhythm. Like, if you can take that momentum from Tuesday into this game, it could be another very entertaining watch. Yeah,
I mean, that's what we're hoping for. It won't be an easy game. We know we need to be on it to kind of come away with a good result. So it's just about training properly today and tomorrow, and just kind of going the same as Tuesday. Enough
strong characters within that dressing room to make sure that no one gets complacent, everyone stays on it.
Yeah, I don't think there will be. There's nobody in there that's really will get sort of carried away with that, and we know how important of a game it is and kind of what it means to the club, so I'm sure everybody will be right up for it.
Brilliant, Chris, thank you very much.
Cheers, thanks.
Rhys, obviously a very strong performance, very dominant performance that puts us in a really commanding position in the tie. How do you look ahead to the second leg? What's your kind of mindset going into it?
To win the game first and foremost. I think we've got to treat it as a brand new game, as if it's 0-0. We've got to approach the game with the same concept and the same morals as we did in the tie on Tuesday. I thought the boys were excellent, and I think we do that, it stands us in the best stead to go through.
What do you expect from Stenhousemuir? Does the goal back that they get towards the end of the game change how maybe you expect them to approach it? I suppose if it's 3 goals down, they maybe need to go for it right from the start. Can they be a bit more cagey with it only being a 2-goal margin?
I don't know. Probably need to ask Gary that, but it's one of the ones that we're back on our pitch. Although, like I said, the performance and everybody's application and quality throughout the game was really, really good on Tuesday. Of course, because it's so late on, it gives them just a wee moment of confidence. But I think when you weigh up the game as a whole and the performance as a whole right through the 90 minutes, I think it was quite convincing, and one that we'll take great kind of pride and belief from.
Having that advantage and having displayed a kind of real control in the game, I suppose it's really only ourselves that can beat us now. It's about making sure that we're into that final.
Of course it is, and that's again the message straight away after the game was, listen, we don't start kind of enjoying ourselves too much and celebrating. It's halfway there. We know that, like you say, sometimes football, when there's nothing to play for, throws up a few things that are unexpected and stuff, but we know what we've got to do. We've got to make sure that we recover. We approach the game like it's a 0-0 first leg again, and like I said, if we bring that kind of intensity and how we played on Tuesday night, regardless of what kind of Stenhousemuir bring, will be too much for them.
And there's a really good support through on Tuesday night, so they'll be coming out again to watch us on Saturday, and it's important, I guess, that we give them a similar show and play that same level of intensity and that same level of quality. Of
course it is, and actually to be fair, it wasn't until really coming off the game, when you're, myself anyway, so invested in kind of the game and what's going on the pitch, that you don't really sometimes notice, and it wasn't until the full-time whistle that you look at the shed behind the goals and you realise kind of how much support was there, which is obviously testament and credit to them. You know, midweek game, they're there in their numbers to support the boys, and like I said, from now moving forward, should obviously Saturday be a positive one for us. We're going to need obviously the support and the numbers behind us, and the boys definitely felt that. I think you've seen that throughout the game. We started really well, but we grew in confidence and just seemed to kind of get better and better and started to kind of go through the gears.
I suppose that level, not just of quality but intensity, like you say, with the way the players went out, is the marker. You'll be looking for that standard to be the minimum this time, and not just be any kind of foot coming off the gas at any point.
No, absolutely not. I want to live it. And like I said, I think the big thing, especially going into Tuesday, sometimes it can be a wee bit kind of unpredictable. You don't really know what to expect. You can do as much analysis and kind of footage and stuff Steny and these kind of teams as you like, but it's about us. That's what I kind of stressed to the boys prior to Tuesday, was that we'll focus on ourselves and make sure that we go about our business and make sure that we do things and we dictate things on our terms. And like I said, we're a full-time outfit. One thing I'll say about the boys is they're extremely fit. Their legs and their energy all throughout the season's been very, very good. So I knew, obviously, playing against a kind of part-time opposition without being disrespectful, it was important that we stamped our authority in the game and we showed our intensity and our enthusiasm without the ball, with the legs, and then, like you said, you mirror that with the quality that we've got through the squad, then it's a good recipe.
You made them do a lot of running off the ball as well all throughout Tuesday night. Their squad's obviously not as deep as ours. I don't know if they'll have bodies back for Saturday, but does that play a part in our advantage as well, that we've got a squad with some depth, with some quality to come on the bench or to start the game, versus a team that might be starting to run on empty?
Possibly, but like you said, sometimes football's funny. It's nothing to lose. So the good thing was, I was pleased, because I think even the boys that come on, sometimes we were comfortable in the game, but sometimes when you come on and obviously it goes 3-0 and it can become a little bit kind of pedestrian, and obviously Stenhousemuir kind of sat in a bank of four and tried to make it difficult, but we moved the ball really, really well under the circumstances. The subs came on, had an impact. I think Rico, Armstrong, Lewis McGregor could have had a couple. Rico has a left foot shot that DJ palms over the bar. It's a great save. So you're looking for them to contribute on another day. We get another 2 or 3 goals, and it's from the boys that I always talk about coming on and making that impact. So really, really pleased with the contribution of everyone. And like you said, it's not just going to be from now and Saturday. I've said it all along, kind of all through the season, that it is a squad game, and certain boys go and do their bit for the team, whether that's 45, 60, 70 minutes, but the boys who come on are ready to come in and bring that intensity to the game.
Anyone taking any injuries through from Tuesday night? Obviously Mason had to be substituted, but himself, the rest of the guys, how's everybody shaping up?
Aye, everybody's as you'd expect, a few wee bumps and bruises, but nothing kind of major or severe. We make sure we recover today. Mason, obviously, I think maybe not as bad as we first thought. It looked a nasty one, kind of jarred his ankle back when you watch it back, and hopefully, like I said, it's about getting the swelling down. His ankle's obviously ballooned up, so the big thing for Mason now is just try to get that swelling down as quickly as possible. Then we can obviously assess how he's doing, but he feels okay. But like you said, we're in a healthy position.
the way we kind of managed the injuries of guys like Lewis Strapp and Lewis McGrattan makes a big difference, because we've seen the contribution both of them had on Tuesday night. Gratz obviously gets the goals and a lot of plaudits for that, deservedly so, but Lewis Strapp both at centre half and at left back, coming back from the injury he had has been massive for us.
Aye, and that's probably a testament to probably the way that we've recruited. We've got players that can play multiple positions. I think even when Mason goes down, normally it would be a bit of a scatterbrain moment. What do you do? And you're trying to plan and prep, but it was pretty plain sailing. Strappy goes into left back. We bring Sam on, obviously knowing that Aitken's a big physical presence up front, which I thought, although we're talking about kind of Strappy and Lewis McGrattan and stuff, Big Sam coming on, he won everything. Yeah. He'd done the basics really, really well. He allowed the boys like Dean McMaster, Frizz, Gratz, Ben Wilson, Mox and that top end of the pitch to go and do their thing, and he patrolled everything about kind of our defensive side. So really, really pleased. Strappy goes into left back. Gratz obviously comes up with a couple of powder puff goals, and nah, I'm only joking. And we were fortunate enough that in the game, obviously, we like to say Gratz, he's been off with a wee niggle in his hamstring, so we asked him if he could go and really be intense, and if it was 60 minutes or whatever, then we'll manage him, see how he is through the game. But luckily enough for us, we had a few goal cushion, and we managed to get our subs on. So really, really pleased. But like you say, we approached the game Saturday like it's a 0-0 and we're going to win the game.
Strappy's still raging about the penalty?
Listen, I've seen it back, and it's one of the ones I'm sick to the back teeth of talking about officials and referees. It's one of the ones that I'm a big believer that common sense always prevails, and I think you look at even the Stenhousemuir players and you look at our players, common sense tells you the reaction of the players. There's nobody really shouting for the penalty. The ball's going to go and play as normal, everybody's ready to go and play, and I think you see even the lad's reaction that goes down, it's almost like head and hands after he gives it, and then a couple of second delay, and how the lino can see from that side, considering he's supposed to have went through a player to get the ball when obviously his back's there, so I don't know. But again, one that I'm not really bothered about, because like I say, they're like that all the time.
And then after the penalty goes in as well, a corner in the box, a cross in the box, and like you said earlier, Big Sam goes and clears it up and deals with it no problem. So there was no goals going in, start to crumble or anything like that. It was still very professional for those last few minutes.
Nah, listen, and like I said, even the goal itself, listen, I think we watched it 4, 5, 6 times on the Tuesday night, and I was still a bit unsure. I think he gets a touch on the ball, he slides in, obviously makes contact with the ball, and then obviously into the player, which for me suggests a decent tackle. But I can't criticise too much. It's a high pressured game, a semi-final in the playoffs, and like I said, for 8 to 9.5 minutes we've absolutely controlled the game in all aspects, off the ball, in possession, and one moment of kind of concentration, if you want to call it that, or maybe a decision. I can't be too disheartened with that. I thought the lads' application and the way that they went about the business was first class. The
confidence in there must be really high after the level of performance Tuesday night. Maybe just want them to be an extra bit ruthless with the chances created.
That would be the only thing. Like I said, to the boys, it's great because you can only beat what's in front of you, and sometimes when things aren't going your way, and we had chances, I think after 45 seconds Mox rounds a goalie and he misses, and even in the first 10-12 minutes it was 4 or 5 really good opportunities. So like I said, I felt the goal was coming. Getting that early goal was obviously a big boost, but on another day you score 6 or 7 and you're really ruthless, and like I say, I don't think we weren't ruthless. I think obviously DJ has a great save for Rico Armstrong. I think Mox hits one right at his chest that he saves, and those are just wee small margins which again we speak to the boys are aware. It's not like they're clueless. It's just about being ruthless, and like you said, both boxes, which I think 90 minutes we were. I can't really remember Kate having a save to make. And then on the flip side of that, I think Mox could have had potentially a hat-trick. Lewis McGregor could have had a double when he came on. Ben Wilson, Rico Armstrong, there was a few, so it tells you that you worked areas. And listen, I'm not going to just sit and bore you with stats and stuff, but I think the way that we controlled possession and kind of territory in their half of the pitch was really, really pleasing, because any time that Stenhousemuir were under a wee bit of pressure and threat and they tried to go long and direct, we never gave them a chance to breathe, and we got the ball back in quickly. We managed to maintain the attacks, and like I say, when we do that, then we've got too many good players top end of the pitch to not create.
Brilliant. Rhys, we'll see you Saturday. Thank you
Cheers.
very much.